And if I had a time machine, I would get in that time machine. I would go back to the very first day I decided I'm going to be an indie author. And I would grab myself by the shoulders and I would shake myself. And I would look myself in the eyes and I would say, there is no substitute for being able to craft a good story. And then I would just disappear. Smoke. Hi, hello, I'm Divinity Ray, indie fantasy and romance author and multi-passionate human. And one thing I'm really passionate about, reading and writing books. Okay, I became an indie author a little over a year ago after being a book talker and a bookstagrammer. And I'm starting a new series here called Indie Pub Hub, where I'm sharing my journey as an indie author who is enthusiastically indie. Now, what do I mean when I say enthusiastically indie? That means that I'm not querying, I'm not trying to get traditionally published. I am exactly where I want to be. And I just haven't seen enough people sharing their journey of just growing within this career. Because to me, being an indie author is being a real author. It is a fulfilling and real career, one that you can be extremely successful at. And I'm just trying to be a better indie author myself. There's so much content out there, so much material out there, so many resources out there on how to write a query letter, how to secure an agent, how to leverage indie authorship into getting traditionally published. What about the girlies who just want to be indie authors? What about us? So as the resident eldest daughter and sun and moon Sagittarius, I decided, you know what? I'll do it. I'll share the journey because I love being an indie author and it's not a stepping stone to me. I'm not trying to get to somewhere better. I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to be in this moment, in this space, that I get to do this thing. Now, a little background about me, since it's the first episode. I've been a writer my whole life. I've written poetry, written blogs. I've performed my poetry live and on stage. I run several newsletters. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, but I had never really shared my fiction work because I was scared. Yeah, I was. I'm a self-taught writer and I just didn't think that I would be someone who could construct a cohesive story and be able to tell that story in a way that would impact readers the way that my favorite books have impacted me. And that really is the trap of admiration. I'll talk about that in another video. But today I want to talk about that one piece of advice that I would give myself, and that really is, there's no substitution for being able to craft a great story. I think that when you are a reader who goes from being a reader to a writer, there is a temptation, there's this pressure, especially if you are a woman or a femme presenting person, someone who's socialized female at birth. We are literally conditioned that our ability to endear ourselves to other people will determine how successful we get to be in whatever we are pursuing. But the thing that I love about writing is that it's not a corporate ladder. Proximity can't afford you visibility. Yes, it can make it easier for your work to be found. But the only thing that can make your work impactful is the time and the effort you put into being able to craft a great story. So if I were starting all over again, I wouldn't worry about what I look like to other authors. I think the best decision that I ever made as someone stepping into this space was just this inner knowing that I was going to be an author for readers, not an author for other authors. Being a writer at all is intimidating enough. Being a writer whose peers look at you and go, what the hell is she doing? That's something else entirely. But you have to have the courage to be yourself, because that's only how you're gonna find who you are trying to reach. So today I'm gonna share some resources with you, namely two things. Number one, books that I've read and I study to become a better writer. And number two, people that I follow and listen to help me grow on this journey. Let's think of this as like a little indie authorship starting kit, because before you get character art or a book cover, before you grow a following on social media, the one thing you will need is a good story. And that is exactly where you should start. So let's get started. I have my handy dandy iPad mini so I can take you through my catalog and share with you some of the books that have literally changed the way that I approach story. I sound so professional, the way I approach story. I think I'm gonna hold my mic down, okay? So first and foremost, starting off strong, this is my holy grail. This is my Bible. I live by this book. I die by this book. It is my favorite. It is my favorite, my favorite, my favorite. Story Genius. If you've never read Story Genius, you need to read Story Genius. I think that the biggest thing that this book has done for me is making me ask the question, whose story is it? There's a part in this book where you do an exercise where you know the story you want to tell, and then you stop once you kind of have like the lay of the land, and then you tell the story from your different characters' point of view. That exercise alone has changed my brain chemistry. There are so many times where I start to write a story And then I start doing that exercise and I realize, oh my God, it's not her story. It's her story. And it completely changes, like, so freaking good. I would say Story Genius teaches you to really understand the why you want to tell that story in the first place. And then also kind of dives into who that story is about. And it also helps you answer the question of why that story even matters. And for me, if I can't answer those three things, I don't even move on to the next step, which is the next book. Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. Jessica Brody is one of my personal heroes. Love you, girl, if you ever see this. I had the absolute pleasure of sitting down and yapping with her on several occasions. Last year? Yeah, last year. First of all, she's so smart and so funny and has definitely been a lifesaver for me when it comes to writing stories. If you don't know anything about Save the Cat, it is a film device that writers use in screenwriting to write movies. She took that same framework and now uses it to teach writers how to write their books. If you are someone who is getting into authorship and you find yourself struggling with the structure of a story, of like how the beats should go, Jessica Brody is going to be your girl. She's going to be your best friend. So the last book, or the last set of books, I should say, is the Writers Helping Writers series. These thesauruses have been my go-to for when I need a word, when I need an idea, when I need a sentence, when I need to describe something. All I have to do is pull them up. They have a thesaurus for everything. The emotions, the negative traits, the positive traits, the rule settings, the urban settings, the emotional wounds, the occupations, the conflicts, and emotional amplifiers. Everything that you need to write a book already exists because other people have made those lists and things. I live by these, okay? Live by them. I remember writing a scene in To Hunt the Hunted, and we get to the cliffside where the cabin exists. I've never been to a cliffside, nor have I been to a cabin. I pull up my rule settings thesaurus, and literally it starts describing all of the things that would exist in that area, like the creeks and the fireflies and the way it would smell like wood or wet rock. And it helped me build out that scene in all of its sensory detail because it was not something I experienced. And even just looking at a picture on Google wasn't really giving me the words to describe what I was looking at. So I love these. Love them so much. And now number 2, people you can follow to help you in your writing journey. Now, when I said this, I was not actually thinking that. I have watched so much content and not really saved it. And I'm like trying to go through my history like, oh my God, what was this person's name? I'll do better next time. I'll be more prepared. I don't even have a script today. I just decided to sit down and yap. But Abbie Emmons is an author who shares a lot of really useful details about writing. I love her channel over on YouTube. I would check them out. Along with Mary Adkins from the Book Incubator. She has some really good videos over on YouTube as well. And one thing I'm so glad I invested in, I do this every couple years for my birthday. I love Masterclass. This is not sponsored. Y'all, I wish it were, but it's not. Masterclass. One of my favorite things. I just love learning. I stay on YouTube. I'm clocking hours, girl. I done took whole university courses here on YouTube. It's free. Why wouldn't I? But Masterclass is not free. However, it is worth it. I took, or at least it was for me, okay? I took Shonda Rhimes' class on writing. Even though it's for TV, I think a lot of that can be applied to writing books. I also took Margaret Atwood. Love. These things got me started off in a really good space, and it made me more confident in my choices as a writer. Because I think a lot of writing is just learning to trust yourself. And eventually, when I can afford to have an editor, my editor, we will get there when we get there. Okay. But I hope this was helpful for now. Check those books out. If you already read them, let me know in the comments what you learned from them and like what was the one takeaway that changed the way that you write and approach your work forever. I would love to know. And if you have any other resources for other authors who are just starting out and taking those brave steps, drop those in the comments as well. And let's just start a little resource lab down in the comments where people can scroll and like kind of take what they need or whatever. Hope you enjoyed this first episode of Indie Pub Hub. There will be several more series coming here to YouTube because a lot of the things that I want to talk about, a lot of things I want to explain, it's going to take long form video to do it. I hope this was helpful and I will see y'all on the next video. Go write something cool.